Welcome to Keep It Real with Anna Bellinghausen and Avery Howard. We are keeping it real. We're so sorry about last week. We couldn't even keep it real with ourselves, let alone a podcast. Things got crazy with March, but we kept our promise, though. We're still keeping it real this week, Avery. How are we doing? What's going on?
Just holding down the fort. I got you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. What's your debacle this morning, I hear?
Yeah, so I'm at home. I plan to come into the office to record. My flight leaves at 2. It's currently 11 o'clock. And I just packed, if you can imagine. My suitcase is there behind me. It's probably pushing about 50 pounds. So we're gonna pray that Southwest lets me on. But they've been pretty nice recently, so I think we'll be good. But I was opening up my dryer, my nail broke. You can't really see it, but like the top of the color is like just gone. So I'm gonna go back to my nail place and see if they'll fix it within the next, 20 minutes before I have to go board a flight. And then I also have to go return stuff from Zara because one of my suits, I'm so sad, just like does not fit. And there's nothing I can do about it. So one suit is down and has to be returned, unfortunately, Avery. So it's a chaotic morning for me.
Wow, devastating.
I know.
So you're a bag checker for these little...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
There is absolutely no way I can fit everything that I want into a carry-on.
So if Creighton wins on, what is it? What's
Friday.
Friday. Will they play Sunday?
Mm-hmm. They'll play Sunday.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Sunday or Monday with the holiday. I couldn't remember the schedule. Okay.
So yeah, I pack for 4 days essentially every time. And like when I'm packing my suits and my blazers and stuff, it's just like it takes up so much space to where I like physically can't have a carry-on. Like I brought 2 bags to New York and literally the carry-on was just my blazers and stuff. So like there's no way. Like where am I gonna put, my toothbrush? Like there's just like I gotta have my space. But
you don't do toiletries in the backpack?
Nope. I put them all in because, well, most of my stuff is travel size, but just in case you didn't get something travel size, then I always put it in my bag. But like, double Ziploc them just so they don't explode everywhere. Thanks for putting that idea into my mind, honestly.
No problem. Just going down the packing question since you
had so many. Did I forget anything?
March has been your month of suitcase.
Yeah, it really has. It's been chaotic, but you're going to Sioux Falls very soon. Very exciting.
Tomorrow. Yeah. So trying to figure out if I can go to Husker football practice in the morning and still make it to Sioux Falls on time. I think I'm pushing no, but I'm going to see what I can do because practice availability, I think it's like 9 o'clock maybe. And by the time they get done with practice and then we wait for the pressers and then I have to do my breakdown stuff afterwards and then edit it. Usually that gets me to 12:31-ish. And then I have to be in Sioux Falls for that send-off and their game's at 7:30. So I'll probably be leaving around 4:30-ish. I'd have to do an interview at 5. I don't know. It just seems a little too, I don't even know when I'd get ready necessarily. I don't know. I know David will be there, so it'll be fine, but I just kind of wanted to get my eyes on practice for the first week. But that's okay. We'll get there when we get there, probably next week. So
I know. That's the thing that stinks about all the sports that we cover. Like, we're not just involved in one sport. So we'll have, like, the tail end of one season and then the start of another, like, colliding at the same time.
Right.
Example, basketball and then football, which spring football is obviously starting right now. So it's like, it's such a fun thing to cover many sports, but like, unfortunately, a lot of the times we do have to pick and choose or like give something up to go to another. Like I wish more than anything that I could also go with you to hockey just because I'm so happy for them and like just want to see them succeed. But it's like I have another job to do. Like you're there. So, you know, you don't need both of us up there. So It's sad to have to not follow some things, but then I mean I'm never going to complain about March Madness. So
Yeah, for sure. I know, and we haven't even touched baseball and softball yet, which
which
is
we both
crazy,
love
right?
so
I
much.
know. So that'll come here soon. But you head to Detroit, yeah?
I do. Never been to Detroit, Motor City. I'm hoping the city will surprise me. I'm going in with no expectations, kind of
Yeah.
like how I went into Pittsburgh, like of
Yeah.
the city.
And what did you think of Pittsburgh?
I thought it was fine. I feel like we didn't get to like go around and see too much stuff, but I did try the Permanente Bros sandwich.
Okay, and
I don't know if I'd like seek it out again. If I happen to be there with other people visiting, I would maybe get it again. But like,
okay.
if you don't know what it is, it's basically like pastrami. It's fries, coleslaw, and like lettuce, I think, and then bread, like really good bread. But it's just a lot. I don't know if I would necessarily do it again. The sandwich is like
Yeah,
4 inches
the fries
high.
are on the sandwich.
Yeah,
The
fries on
fries,
a sandwich. Yeah.
wow, how interesting.
Yeah, and they're like loaded up. I
Yeah.
I went up to order it and I'm like, "Oh, do you recommend like getting a side of fries?" She's like, "Absolutely not."
What?
She's like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I'm glad because I had extra,
It's like
plenty
screaming
extra.
East Coast.
Yeah, very East Coast. I hear there's like a Pittsburgh accent,
Mm,
like a dialect, but I never really heard it. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to hear what
yeah.
Pittsburghites. I don't know what you would call them. Pittsburghians. Someone from Pittsburgh, let me know. Apparently, they call themselves like Yinzers, which I have no idea what that means. It sounds like a bad term to call somebody, but yeah, that's what they had around the town. It was like, we're the Yinzers. I don't know, but
I'll have to ask Sasha what that
to
means.
each their own. Yeah, Sasha would probably know.
Yeah, I'll inquire about that one.
Definitely do inquire, but Detroit, excited to see. Um, Playing at the Pittsburgh, the Pistons Arena.
Yep.
I think it's called Little Caesars Arena. I'll find that out here very soon, and it looks super nice. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to go see that. Hopefully, I get a glimpse of Ford Field. Love Dan Campbell more than life. Hope he's just
Mm.
walking around and I bump into him.
Yeah. Yeah. Just right into him. What's your agenda look like once you land today? What's on the itinerary for Anna?
I'm probably gonna finish my notes tonight of the four teams that are there. We have really great teams there besides
Wow.
Creighton's. It's on obviously Creighton's opponents Tennessee, and then Purdue and Gonzaga are also there.
Yeah,
So
it's a
like
good one.
really fun teams to watch. So it'll be good to talk to those teams as well. Tomorrow is the practice and media day, so I'll get to hear from all the teams and take a quick look at the practice and whatnot. And then nothing really. Probably walk around Detroit, try to find some cool spots, and hopefully run into Dan Campbell.
I'm actually, now that you say that, I'm kind of remembering that I did play in Detroit for club soccer, but we were kind of in the burbs, so I don't really think it
Mm,
really mattered. It looked like any other
yeah,
Midwest place. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you think. I feel like we've really hit like we need a map in our office
we should put a map. A
where
pin.
everyone has like a pin because
Yeah,
you'd really be knocking out the spots right now.
I've been to. Well, if you count New York, that's like multiple different cities because we were in like Jersey City and stuff. But
Yeah,
I've probably been to like five new cities just this March.
for sure. No, for sure.
Because Connecticut, I went to New York, Jersey, drove through wherever I drove through from Connecticut to New York, and then
Where were
um,
you last week? I
Pittsburgh.
can't remember. Oh, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Dude, this is like the part of the year where I wake
No
up.
blur.
I wake up every morning and I'm like, where am I?
Am
Like
I? Yes.
this morning I woke up in my own bed for like the first time in forever, and I'm like, where am I? Like I couldn't like when you like wake up and you're like, is this a wall or a door? Like because you
Yeah.
don't know like spatially like where you are.
Yes.
That's how I felt this morning waking up, and pretty much every morning I have to remind myself what city I'm in.
No, I agree with that. I told Lydia, my roommate, who we haven't shared more than 3 days in a row at our apartment together this month, and she left for a trip today. And so the last 2 days we've had is the longest we've had together. And I told her when I got home from St. Paul the other day, I was like, I feel like a stranger in my own home. Like
Yeah.
it just feels weird. Like I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, anticipating to leave, and it's just so crazy, like super exciting, like such a fun month, but it is really crazy how like your mind is shift so quickly. I feel the same way. Like this morning I was able to set my alarm to 8 o'clock.
Wow.
And when I woke up, I know I was like dead to the world at 8 o'clock, so I haven't had that good of sleep in a very long time. Just like being comfortable in your own home. And I had the same thing. I woke up and I was like, the first 30 seconds of being awake, I was like, what's happening here? Like I either missed something, I'm in the wrong spot. Yeah, until you like come to full consciousness. But that's really funny you say that.
No, I walked into my apartment when I got back from Pittsburgh, and I literally opened the door and I was like, hello, like expecting someone to be in there, like just living in there while I wasn't there. Literally. I don't know why I said that, but I was like, is anyone in here? Like, I'm just checking. No one was, but
thank God. Yeah. So how's your fridge and your pantry looking?
Oh my God. It looks like a frat boy's fridge. There's literally just like mayonnaise, ketchup, a bottle of wine. Like that's all in my fridge right now. It's bad. Yeah. I did have chicken and like rice and stuff, luckily, that I could cook. But like other than that, like my breakfast has been granola bars. Like I just can't go to the grocery store. I mean, you feel this too. Like there's no point for me to get 2 days worth of groceries and then leave. Like I'm not gonna be able to finish it by the time that I get it. Oh, I opened up my fridge and actually my milk was like expired March 4th. What day is it today?
29th.
No, it's not the 29th. 27th.
Oh yeah, 27th.
I thought it was like the 17th, honestly, so that's why I had that reaction.
I think I literally wrote on my board 2 days ago, March 28th. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was quite expired when I threw it away. Yeah, I don't know why I kept it in there, but yeah, that's how I like tell time, is like what day my milk expires. I'm like, oh, this event's coming up when my milk expires.
What's the milk in your fridge for? Like cereal?
No, Avery, I drink milk like in a glass.
Yeah, the face solution just made we're on the same page, sister. What?
Have you not known this about me?
I don't think I did. I thought we made fun of other people on our team for drinking milk. I didn't know you were in it.
No, I'm in the club. I'm in the milk drinker club. I will have a meal with a glass of milk.
No.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I know it's a red flag about myself. I'm not proud of it, but I do have milk, and it's 2%, and I don't care. I'm unapologetic.
Kind of at a loss of words. You literally ruin your meal with having a glass of milk. Like what?
No, it enhances it. Like it is a craving to me. Like when especially if I have like pasta or like anything carbs, like I have to have a glass of milk with it. People that listen to the show,
try water.
No, it doesn't hit the same. I drink water all the time, but like when I'm having dinner, I'll drink a glass of milk. Sometimes, Avery, you're going to hate this. Sometimes I'll eat my cereal and have a glass of milk.
Dude, you got to chill. This is ridiculous, actually. I did not know this about you. I don't think I did. I literally thought when we made fun of some people on our team for being milk drinkers, I didn't realize that you were one of them.
No, I am one of them. And you can bring it up again. I think Colin is. Yeah. There's a couple other guys that are in it.
Oh, good God. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No, there's definitely two types of people in the world. There's milk drinkers, and then there's like the soy milk, and then I never drink milk, only when I have to.
Yeah, anyway, okay. We'll move past this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, hopefully you can still be friends with me.
Yeah, I meant topic. We'll move past the topic right now. I'm not sure what we were talking about. Okay. Great. So we'll go back to basketball. Let's get back to that. How are you feeling about the matchup?
Every matchup in March, I'm like never confident in for either team, really, just because literally anything can happen. And one example is when we were in Pittsburgh, we got to see the Oakland upset over Kentucky, and they almost upset NC State the next or 2 days later. Like really anything can happen. It's really about what team shows up that day and who wants it more. But I think Creighton and Tennessee will probably produce one of the best games of the Sweet 16 matchup, just because I think they're very similar in how they operate. Tennessee is definitely going to be the best defense that Creighton faces all year besides UConn. McDermott said that Tennessee's defense is better than UConn. I don't know if I personally think that, but not going to argue with Coach Mack. So
Right.
we'll give him that there. But we'll see. It's going to be a battle between Dalton Knecht, who's SEC Player of the Year, up for Naismith Award, and then Baylor Shireman, who's one of the best players in the Big East, one of the best guys in the country at shooting the three ball and producing points. So yeah, we'll see the matchup between those two, and one of them's going to go off. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be a battle between those two guys. But yeah, you never know. And what's cool about this Creighton team is like Jason Green, for example. Like that is one of my favorite stories ever. In him redshirting his freshman season, he's from Millard North, and he got that moment in the game to advance to the Sweet 16. He dunked the ball and put the Creighton Blue Jays up by 8 in double OT. Like that moment was so cool for Jason, and I think for people in Omaha to see like, hey, it is possible to have a homegrown team and guys that can make an impact. Because I mean, look at Baylor. He obviously went to SDSU first, and he's from Nebraska and came back to play. And you never know. I mean, our guy Frankie Fiddler is transferring out of Omaha, and he's getting looks from Creighton and Nebraska. So it's kind of cool to see that talent come back. I wish it would start in Nebraska and never leave, but I think they're working towards that.
Yeah. You got to talk to some cool people with some cool stories like that weren't Creighton related in Pittsburgh, like the Oakland. What's his? How do you say his last name?
Jack Golke.
Golke. Yeah, there it is. You got to talk to his dad too, right?
I did. Yeah, I found his parents. Surprising.
Yeah,
not really. Cool. His brother was like holding a big fat head, and I looked at him like he looks like Jack Golke's brother. Like they just looked alike, and I'm like, I went up to his family at halftime, and I'm like, hey, are you the Golke family? And they're like, yeah. And I talked to his dad, and he was just saying how big of a surprise it was, and like they've always known, Jack's been great at basketball and so passionate, but like the dad was like, honestly, like you don't really dream of this stuff happening to your kid. Like you don't put that expectation on anyone, but like when it happens, it's so surreal. And they were really cool. They soaked in everything. Like they weren't shy to talk about Jack, and like they really embraced the moment. And Jack himself was like, I knew he had answered the questions I'd asked him a million times, but he still talked about it with the same, I think, amount of passion and happiness that he did with anybody else, which I really appreciate, because you can get guys that just get sick of, answering the same stuff over and over. Right. And I get it, but like this was his moment. Like he'll, probably never reach that level of fame in a short period of time again. So like super cool story, great guy. But yeah, he's obviously out of March Madness now, but he's still racking in the NIL deals.
He is. I know. I saw someone say something. They're like, this is how NIL was supposed to work.
Literally, like this is what it was meant to be for guys like Jack Golke.
Yeah, pop off once and see what happens. Yeah, basically.
How are you feeling for hockey? What's your thoughts about facing Minnesota?
I'm a little bit nervous, but I think that's just because it's just, this time of the year, there's no game that's not going to be top quality, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I think when I watched the way the guys played last weekend in St. Paul, it's some of the best hockey that I've ever watched this team play, especially this year. I mean, the last few weeks, it's been really great. Like the way they played North Dakota at home, incredibly sound. That first game against CC, obviously. And then the other two games were just kind of like Omaha hockey style, like hard work it out. They're going to battle to the end kind of thing, and they were rewarded for it. And then the game against North Dakota, which is so crazy in St. Paul, as you can imagine, there's green everywhere. And just the whole place was there for one team, and it was North Dakota. And they score less than a minute in, or I guess it was like a minute and 20 seconds. And usually against North Dakota, I would have had the pit in my stomach, like, here we go. Mm-hmm. There was none of that, like zero. I didn't have a single doubt. And I think it's because following that goal, the guys put like 8 shots on goal real quick, like within the next 2-3 minutes after that goal. And it did not feel like any of the momentum shifted whatsoever. And so the way that they played that game, I think has given them a lot of confidence, just as a reminder that I think they knew they're capable of getting here. But I think to be playing some of their best hockey and then be able to take down an opponent like North Dakota, who, it's Omaha, North Dakota rivalry all the time. And obviously we know North Dakota's owned that for a little while. So for them to go and have 3 wins in a row against them, I think it kind of reinstilled this, like, yeah, we're pretty decent and like it's not a fluke. And I think the Denver game was unfortunate just because they score the first goal. Their captain for Denver gets 2 back in the second period or whatever it was. Yeah, 2-1. And I think they just lost a little bit of steam. I think there were just some discouraging parts of that game, whether it be a few penalties or just like bad puck luck. And I mean, there was, I think, a shot off the crossbar. There was a point blank shot right in front that got blocked. Like, I think Omaha knows, and I heard them say leaving that game, like they could have had it 2-0, 3-0 before it became 2-1 Denver. And so I think walking away from that game, of course, they were bummed and it kind of sucked a little bit just to play such good hockey. And then the score being 4-1, I don't really think depicted how the game really went. They had 2 okay, fine goals at the end that just were unfortunate. And I think they knew by that point Denver was going to win. There was a power play, that whole thing. So whole long-winded story basically here is just to say that I think the guys are okay with the draw, to be honest with you. And for some of these guys, this is a revenge game because back in my junior year, would have been our junior year, yeah, they drew Minnesota in the first round, and Minnesota was really good that year and smoked Omaha. So I know for some of them, this is that revenge option. And I think hopefully it being in Sioux Falls, they'll have a lot of following, and I think they deserve that. And what they did have in terms of a following in St. Paul was pretty cool. For the school size that we are, and I think the fandom that's kind of created over time gradually, I think the amount of people that showed up, family and friends, and then just fans that traveled up, was pretty encouraging for the guys to see. And everyone was cheering for Omaha, which was kind of cool, inside the XL Energy Center that weren't Omaha fans. And obviously Denver had no one there because it's just such a trek. But yeah, it was pretty funny to hear like them introduce both teams out into the ice, and people that were like in other colored jerseys or just there to enjoy hockey, they were cheering for Omaha. So that was kind of cool. So like I said, long-winded answer to say I'm a little bit nervous just because, if this is it, right? And this will be the last time for a lot of these guys to put this uniform on. And so I think that always sits heavy with you, no matter what the game is at this point. And so I just obviously fingers crossed, hope they get more than one game out of it, but we'll see. It was a really cool experience last week, to say the least. Like, very, very cool to see the logo all over St. Paul, or I guess I should say the XL Center, to see North Dakota have to pack their bags right after their game and walk past the guys who are just recovering and music is blasting in their locker room. A little bit of a,
felt good
on the face. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool. And so I think the guys are, they knew it was going to be Minnesota that night. I think when they were sitting in St. Paul in the hotel, they're like, I think we'll get Minnesota. And they were kind of like, all right, so be it. So we'll see. I'm excited to be up there tomorrow. And like I said, hopefully there's a lot of red and black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think no matter how the game ends, the season has been phenomenal for Omaha, and I think is so telling about the future of this program, not only with fan support, but also with the players they'll be able to recruit. I mean, making the NCAA tournament, there's only 16 teams that make this thing in college hockey. Like, it is so difficult to make this tournament, and that is just so big for recruiting purposes, just to say, hey, like, we can, if we keep adding talent, like, the ceiling is the limit for this team. Like, there's no limit for how far this squad can go in the future. And I know Gabs, he'd get an extension, right?
Yeah, I guess there was an article that said like for every time you make the tournament or whatever it is, like you get a year extension or something like that. I didn't know that.
Interesting. That's unique for sure.
That is interesting.
But I mean, a testament to how difficult it is to make the NCAA tournament, which I think a lot of common sports fans like maybe don't realize how stinking hard it is to make that tournament and to make the NCHC semifinals, let alone the championship. Like, this is the SEC of college hockey. It is the toughest conference, best competition, like, so difficult to make. And it's not something that fans should take lightly. And I tweeted this out, but like, I really do hope people aren't just paying attention to March Madness, that they
Yeah.
do look at college hockey and realize what's going on with Omaha there as well, because it's so important. And like, how can you not love this Omaha team? Like, there are a bunch of underdogs who have taken that mentality and completely flipped the script on a lot of teams this season, and they were overlooked. Preseason ranking, I think, what were they, like, 7th?
6, 7, yep.
6 or 7, yeah. Like, they weren't supposed to be where they are right now, and like, how can you not love that story? Everybody on this team is such a good person and has literally given everything to this program to play. And it's cool seeing them get rewarded for all the hard work, and can't be more proud as an alum for sure. And I'm happy that you get to be there to experience it. That's going to be so cool to have an NCAA tournament under your belt in college hockey.
I know, it is really cool. It's really special, I think, like you said, to be an alum, to kind of have been following the team, whether we were doing it for work or just school, for such a long time, because that's kind of Omaha sport, right, is hockey. And so it's just kind of what you enjoy. And I know for me and you both, like, I don't think we really came from backgrounds that were hockey loving families, or was it really a sport that, I mean, we didn't really have it in Kansas City whatsoever. So it's been something just to kind of learn and get used to here, and it's become something that I've become really passionate about, obviously. And I think that also stems from the staff that they have, whether that's just their coaches and just beyond that. Like, they welcome everyone, and I think you understand this too, kind of like working closely to Creighton basketball. I know you feel similarly, but like, to feel welcomed and appreciated and valued is such a cool thing that they do to practically everyone that surrounds their program, which is really cool. So it's made working alongside them even more special, to know that, like, I'm valued to be there, but also I feel welcome to be able to cover them and enjoy this too. Like I said, as an alum, it's like you never expected to be working along like this closely to a team or whatever it may be. It just was the sport you went to on Friday and Saturday when you're a freshman and sophomore in college or whatever it was. And so it's been really cool to get to know everyone. And I mean, it was literally our athletic department at one point. So now to still have some sort of tie to it, it obviously feels very special. And I mean, I didn't even realize this. I kind of forgot, but like, they won like less than 15 games like our freshman year.
Yeah.
And I was just going on Fridays and Saturdays because we had practice on the weekend. So it was like our one social activity that we could go do. Like, I wasn't really paying attention at the time. I was like, oh, it's fun atmosphere. It's cool to be here. And to think that now, like, working alongside the team and they're in the NCAA tournament for the second time. And I guess I was how long ago was I? Junior, 4 years ago? Good Lord, 3 years ago, maybe? Yikes. Yeah, like, that's pretty cool. So it's been kind of cool to just get to know the staff and just kind of see the evolution. I really do think that it can really just go up from here. Obviously, it sucks because at the end of the year, you have this really great group and you don't know where everyone's going to go. But it's all good things, right? Like, people sign great deals, and, you know, you have grad students and stuff like that that have to move on. But I know they reload pretty quickly, and I know the culture that's been set the last few years has transcended. So I think they'll be in a good spot. I know you wish you could hold on to everyone a little bit longer, continue the success, but yeah, I think they'll be in a good spot, and I'm fingers crossed that things go well this weekend, and then for years to come, it'll be continued to just grow. I mean, clearly this year we saw that. I mean, Omaha was getting wins over teams and sweeps over teams that they haven't done that to in a long time. So I think the fear of some of those teams is slowly diminishing, which is a big thing. But we also know that the NCHC never really gets less strong.
No, they're always good. Yeah.
It's going to be that way. But I think that's pretty cool to say that Omaha's part of that conference. And like you said, be one of 16 teams. That's crazy. Like, every single hockey program across the country is usually pretty strong because it's not a sport that everyone can play. And then for that to be 16 teams is pretty crazy. It's
remarkable. Well, Avery, soak in every single moment. Take your pictures, take your videos, because both of us really are, having experiences of a lifetime. And I'm happy to get to do it with you, even though we won't be in the same spot. We'll check back in, though, next week. We have to. We will. I'll just follow you in your Instagram stories, and I'll just be posting your interviews. So, So next week we could either be both back home or continuing a journey. Where would you guys go after if they win both games? If it goes back to St. Paul. Okay. It's like a break. There's like a week off. So I think it's like April 12th or April 13th or whatever is when the Frozen Four would happen back in Minneapolis. Gotcha. Wait, maybe.
I think it is. Coach Kemp made a comment to me, and he's like, we're marking it here. Like, we'll be back here in less than a month or something. And then I didn't process until I realized what he meant. But yeah. So I think it's
I
Minneapolis.
think you're right because I think it's a weekend after the Final Four.
Yeah.
I don't think they clash at all.
I probably should know the locations, but I'm on a week-to-week basis right now, so
I
I'll get
feel
back
you,
to
sister.
you.
I'm one day at a time, literally one day at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Oh my God, a thumbs up. Can you see that?
Oh, thumbs up. Let's go.
Wait, you do it.
Does it send it? No.
Mm,
Sorry, I guess you're only special. Whatever.
I know. It's because I'm here in the studio.
All right, well, let me go get my nail fixed. I'm going to go see if we can get this situation under control before I have to leave. But
Yeah. Safe travels.
yeah, you too. Drive up to Sioux Falls. Let me know if you make practice. We're rooting for you.
Oh, thank you. I'll let you know how football practice goes or doesn't.
All right, well, thanks, guys, for joining. Keep it real. We'll talk to you next week.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production. Hurrdat Sports Network production.